I need nobody.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Totaled Recall, the show that remembers it for you. My name is Jethro Bot. With me, as always, don't worry, Mick, I'm not going to do this the whole time.
I wish you would. I seriously wish you would.
I'll eventually have a seizure. It's fun, though. So, how is the land of the Vermontosaurus? How's that treating you?
Oh, it is glorious if you like it really cold and really snowy.
Okay.
We had another 4 inches today.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
No can do. No can do. Okay. Denver, Colorado, Empress Buttercup, how are you doing?
Hola, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited to be talking about Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Pretty cool movie.
Yep, agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Columbus, Ohio. Oh, I saw him, I saw him on camera there, and I was like, I bet this would be a really awkward time to pop him right up there. So
Yeah. Let me put my pants on.
Hey, but look, it worked. Check it
yeah,
out.
it worked. Yeah.
Always turn it off and turn it back on.
Tech solved. Tech
Good
solved.
job, Gravy. Good job, Gravy.
All the way from the other room, it's the bride of Pumpkinhead.
Hey.
So now 2 people here who don't have any snow. And we have a very special guest from Bsides and B-roll. It's Barbara Lawrence.
Hey.
I immediately screwed up your name. I won't
How dare
remember
you.
it for you. I won't.
Ow.
I will not.
Hi. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. And I'm going to blame this.
You stroke out there for a minute.
That's right. That's right. It was very exciting. Last time we met, we didn't really have 90 minutes worth of material to talk about the cat from outer space. So we talked about cats, how great cats are, and the cats are in our lives. But, more or less, we gave it a thumbs up. And this round, we're watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Already checked it out. And before we go through the synopsis, because I think it would be good to just kind of like touch on all the plot points and stuff that we'll be discussing. I'm wondering what preconceptions you had going into it, like anything you specifically recall about this movie before revisiting it, like anything that was like stuck in your head.
Gee, for me, it's odd that I hadn't seen it because I as a kid, I just loved it. I remember, yeah, it was a big deal. But of course, back then we didn't have the ability to just watch them over and over and over again. The song stuck in my head a lot.
The main
I
song?
have never forgotten the song. The lyrics burned into my memory for the most part. The car was just iconic, and I couldn't wait to see the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the adventure to Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember a lot of the details. There were images that would pop out, but yeah, there was a lot that stuck with me. But the big preconception was just it was a rollicking good time, and I was hoping it would live up to that.
Cool. And Sandra, had you seen this before?
So I definitely felt like I had seen it before. And then when we started watching it, I was like, what in the heck? This doesn't look familiar at all. We did get the parts that I remembered. So I just barely remembered some snippets of it. I did not follow that insane storyline as a child.
Right. Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so I'm pretty sure I saw parts of it. I probably just didn't absorb the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, I would have been pretty young because what year was this movie? 1960 something,
68.
Yeah, 68.
68.
So yeah, I mean, I would have been super young. That was before my time.
Yeah, 10 years before Cat from Outer Space.
So I must have, like Mick said, must have just seen it on TV or something,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then just seen it that one time because it's not something that.
Yeah, Jeremy, did you remember anything about this movie?
Not at all. I don't know if I've ever seen it before. I would almost certainly think that I would have seen parts of it before. And I'd certainly heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but no, honestly, this was all new for me.
So going in though, what were then not having seen it, but you had surely heard something. What were you expecting?
Some of what was there, you know what I mean, like some singing, some dancing, some like, you know, some wholesomeness, but also like, you know, some really like goofy set gags and stuff like that. And some silly fantastical adventuring, which is what happened. In fact, the movie honestly got a lot sillier than I thought it would.
But no spoilers yet.
Yeah, no spoilers yet. Yeah, but it took a little right off the silly rails.
Yeah. Laura, had you seen this before, or did you have any like?
I had never seen it. The only thing I knew about it was the 2.5 hour runtime, and I was taking a big deep breath in going into it. It was not a slog. I won't say. I'll leave further comments for later in the show, but it's not a slog.
Cool. And Barbara, how long? I know you had seen this before, right? So how long had it been?
Yeah, I had. I hadn't really seen it since I was a kid. There were some significant gaps that I just kind of completely forgot about, like the whole grandpa thing. Completely forgot about it. And oftentimes I wasn't really sure if I ever was remembering the child catcher, or if I was just confusing it with some weird Rankin Bass holiday cartoon, right? It was so weird and very, very Roald Dahl. But yeah, really, it was such a fun trip to go back and watch this again.
Yeah. So we're just gonna, just getting through a plot synopsis here. So like anyone listening along, when we talk about certain scenes, they'll just kind of have an idea as to where we're at. There's a pair of like, kind of poor British kids who hang out in a junkyard. Their weird inventor dad agrees to like drum up 30 shillings to buy this old race car that they love in a junkyard before it gets turned into scrap metal. And the way that this race car is introduced first thing in the movie, and as any children's musical should start with, it goes from this car winning several races in each annual Grand Prix to exploding and killing the person driving it. It is an unquestionably lethal crash. And that's the vehicle that the kids fall in love with.
This predates airbags.
Yes. So, it's like after this crash, a decade later, its charred remains are, bought by their eccentric father so that they can continue to skip school and ride around in this, newly vamped up car. And he uses it to kind of woo this like rich lady he knows, and he actually tries to sell candy to her rich candy making father. So there's a big dance number there. There's also a big dance number when he earns the shillings at the county fair in order to get the car. That's a big dance number. Yeah.
A lot to get
there's a lot that happens in this movie. It's
yeah, it takes a while to actually get to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, driving around. Then he has a picnic
6-course meal.
Yeah. So he and his kids have a picnic with Truly Scrumptious, their new lady friend. He tells a story about pirates who want to steal the car, but the car turns into a boat, but then winds up in Bulgaria, where this weirdo king, wants the car, for himself. So anyway, there's Dick Van Dyke when he makes the car real nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we just talk about that for a minute? Because I did want to talk about that. Is it time to talk about that?
Yes, yeah. So that's probably good enough synopsis right there. Yeah, we can move on. We can move on. We'll get to the ending. Don't worry.
So it's gonna take a long time to get to the ending of this movie. Jeez.
Yeah.
So
there's a whole intermission.
Yeah, there's an yeah.
Right. Oh my God.
I think you could have had 2.
Yeah.
Like this car. Okay, so he like spends a week in the barn with the charred remains. It was so cute how it's like pulled into the thing with the horse.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he stays like a week in the barn, and then it comes out like looking like that, all shiny, brand new.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible.
Yeah.
And look at him taking the boat in to use it.
The boat?
Yeah, I thought that was funny because it turns into a boat, but it is actually built partly from a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely point out that you would be hard pressed to find a more like detailed and well pulled off like combination of costume, set, and production design. I mean, it's top notch. It's everything looks amazing. It's pretty in that regard. It's an extremely well produced movie. It's impeccable in that regard.
Cubby Broccoli took no shortcuts.
No.
Yeah.
No, they spent money, and a lot of good dedicated hard work went into, like, I really enjoy specifically all of the set and prop design.
Yeah. I mean, look, there they are. They're all in the boat.
Yeah.
And he also takes a piece of the stove.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Did you get us? I forgot to get like a screenshots, but the one where she's in his lab and he has all his little contraptions and inventions.
Oh, I didn't find one like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool. That would have been something good to look for. They're not always so easy to find, though. I don't. But you mentioned Cubby Broccoli, and I think it is good to start when we talk about how this movie was made. Its connection with James Bond. It's not just written by Ian Fleming. Albert Broccoli is the person who produced this film. And he is the guy who's responsible for all the James Bond movies. So he just must have had a real thing for Ian Fleming, like big time,
Weren't they friends?
Were they friends?
I don't know. I always thought they were. I don't know. I just assumed they were friends.
Yeah.
Or something. Unless I'm completely off.
You would think so, because, Ian Fleming was certainly alive when, a lot of James Bond movies were being made, and probably when this movie got made.
No. He died soon after writing this book.
Oh, really?
Oh, he did? Oh, wow.
It's true. Yeah, he never got to see this film.
Oh, that's too bad.
And he never got to see the book published either.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. I thought just thought they were all hanging out together on the beaches of Jamaica, up with children's stories.
It gets sadder. He knew he was sick, and he also knew that his son was sad about how much attention James Bond got and how little attention his son got. So he started writing The Magical Car, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, for his son to show how much he loved his son.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is sad.
That's very sad.
Well, I hope the son saw it.
Well, yes. It's sadder.
Oh,
it's sadder.
More.
Yeah. His son took his own life at the age of 23. He actually never got over, I think, that may have been part of it, his relationship with his father and just things of that nature. And
oh man.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
It's so horrible.
That's so awful.
It's
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's a tragedy. And it's wild, like, that's where, something starring puppet Dick Van Dyke comes from, is
wow.
Crazy.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but I really think that this adaptation is because Cubby Broccoli, wanted that Mary Poppins green, like
capitalize on that.
Yeah. He wanted that money. Mary Poppins, like the highest estimate was $6 million in cost to make that film, and it earned like over 30 million, in its initial theatrical run. So this movie didn't just cost 10 million to make. They put a lot, like United Artists put a lot into advertising for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And it unfortunately didn't really pay off. It was one of the best-selling movies of that year, but it didn't really make up the deficit, It was not as good for them as they were hoping. But they take this book by Ian Fleming and they ape all these like kind of plot points about Mary Poppins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Mary Poppins connection. They didn't just say like, we kind of want to get some of the similar plot points. They also hire the Sherman Brothers to do the music. You might know the Sherman Brothers from Mary Poppins.
Oh, it's a lovely holiday with Mary.
Yeah. Hey.
It's not far from there to Truly Scrumptious.
Yeah.
For real.
Totally.
It really shows in the lullabies,
Yeah.
Mary Poppins has lullabies. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang has lullabies. It gets pretty syrupy. It really shows.
And did they try to hire even Julie Andrews?
That's correct. They tried to hire Julie Andrews. She said it's too similar to Mary Poppins.
Yeah, Mick, didn't you say that this actress was her understudy in like a
no, but she followed her in another production. Yeah.
Okay.
She was follow her.
There's a very Julie Andrews quality to this actress. Like she's
she was sound and music on stage, right?
I think it was My Fair Lady.
My Fair Lady.
Yeah, My Fair Lady. You are right.
Okay. All right.
And I got to say, as far as the singing goes, I do. I watched. I had to watch the rest of the film later, and and by the end of the film, like, especially when they're singing at the end, like her and Dick Van Dyke, it is a little imbalanced. Like, she can really sing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She is like high level pro.
Yeah.
She's
And
trained.
Dick Van Dyke is a
Singing.
great actor.
Yeah. Dick Van Dyke is an entertaining actor. He is not a singer.
Yeah. He can really, really dance.
Yeah, he can.
He can really trip over an ottoman.
Yeah.
You're damn straight.
Hey, can we curse now?
Oh, yes. We can definitely swear now. Sorry.
Okay, good. Then we can smoke weed too.
All right, good.
Where's the test alert?
Bucket duck. Dick Van Dyke singing voice. It's terrible.
I like to keep some of the leftovers for previous live streams. Like some of them are fun just to pop up every once in a while. But I guess they didn't want Dick Van Dyke's British accent for this.
Nobody wanted Dick Van Dyke's British.
Yeah,
especially Dick Van Dyke. He was like, I think he was like, absolutely not. I am not doing that ever again.
Yeah, I'll be in the movie, but I'm not doing that accent. Yeah, that seems maybe more likely.
His kids are British. His dad's British.
Yeah.
Just don't ask questions.
Everybody
just accept
is British.
it.
Yeah, even the Bulgarians are British.
Yeah.
But
it's part of the film's whimsy.
That's right. And oh crap! What was I going to say about him? Oh, he did mention that the dance scene with the bamboo poles at the fair. That how he gets the 30 shillings. That was the most difficult dance routine of his career. And he said one of the most difficult things about it is that he was in his early 40s at the time, and he's dancing with guys who are like half his age. Like.
Yeah, I'm 45, and I'd be like, nah, man.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'll do a hopscotch scene. Do you want to trim this down to hopscotch? I'll do that. Yeah.
How about we just do the Macarena?
Yeah. Oh, that's one more thing about Mary Poppins. This takes place in 1910, the same year as Mary Poppins. They were like, it was, they weren't being subtle about it at all.
Did they use the same costumes? Were I like did they borrow stuff?
No. Use the same sets or no, not really. But there it is there they all are, ready to fly off to Bulgaria and have a horrible Roald Dahl adventure. Because that's who. It's funny. Like Albert Broccoli, he could not come to terms with the guy who owned the rights to Casino Royale. It just so happened somebody else owned the rights to make the movie of Casino Royale, and Albert Broccoli couldn't come to terms with them about I think I'm having a connection here. Might be weather related. Just gonna wait a second. Okay. He couldn't come to terms with the Casino Royale guy. So that's why Casino Royale is a spoof. It's because he knew he couldn't compete with the real James Bond movies. So he made a comedy out of it instead. And, I don't know if that it's very strange that Albert Broccoli then hires the same director as Casino Royale, but he had worked with them before.
Oh, this guy directed Casino Royale.
This guy directed Casino Royale right before Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Okay.
Yeah, it immediately preceded it. So for this director, but Albert Broccoli produced a lot of stuff before he started just strictly doing James Bond, and he had worked with this director before, and he actually this was the last non-Bond thing he did. He was like, I'm not. Yeah, after this experience. I did really like the, I don't think the mechanics make any sense, but, I like.
It's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the car as a boat. That was cool.
And what's funny about this is you can forget so easily that this didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
The car can't turn into a boat.
This is just a story.
It's just a story, but
yeah.
But you forget that even while you're watching it.
Yeah, you definitely accept oh, the car's like a boat now. It's flying now. This is great.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already in a musical, so suspension of disbelief is from the get-go, it's suspended.
Oh yeah.
But it starts off as I'm going to tell you a story, and then you forget you're in a story, and then all of a sudden, and that's the end of the story, and we're back on the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot happens in Bulgaria. A lot, But I guess, one thing I was thinking of, how in the end they fly away in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang again. So I'm like, whenever they want to, do they just sit in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and talk about it flying? And that's what happens in their imagination. Or was they once again just go flying? Or was it real?
Well, at the end, they take off flying in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do they really?
I understand the confusion here because this is where, the movie gets really silly. I certainly found it a little awkward and confusing. I was under the impression that he was just telling a story about the Bulgarians and they showed up and this stuff happened. And then I thought they were going to go back to reality. But that's not what happened.
No.
It turns out the Bulgarians were indeed real. And they ended up kidnapping the guy's dad in an outhouse with a Zeppelin, which is as fantastic as it sounds.
But no, that is still...
No,
I think that's still
in the story.
The story.
That's still the story. I think that he is really a kooky dad who has a continual running story with his children who are probably unruly and hyperactive. And that's it. It's just a continual story, and it ends as the story, and the story keeps going because he just keeps telling. It's a long, you know what I mean?
Okay, and just
it's the never-ending story.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah,
right. That's all. That's.
But I got a question. Does that mean that her falling in love with him is also a figment of his imagination?
Yeah, I think that's part of the story. I think that's part of the story.
Well, no, because she's in love with him when they go on the picnic.
Yeah.
Which is real.
The picnic is real. Yes, they really do go on the picnic, and his children are like, truly scrumptious, we love you, and you should, make it with our dad. And
well, I don't think they put it that way, but
he says it. He says it
came close.
We're stripping away context on this show, Jeremy. Okay, that's what the kids said. That's what they said.
To me, he says a few things that indicate that she's a fictional part. She's a fictional character. Where he's just like, oh, my children need a mother. Like he's literally just needing a mother for his children. That's it's like.
Yeah.
And he's like some kooky weirdo living in the middle of nowhere with a kooky, with the grandpa that he can't control.
Yeah. Wait, does this mean that actually everything that happens just takes place in the imagination of an eccentric and impoverished inventor, his two children, and a burnt out old heap? That the car never even looks like that?
I think that's a fair analysis.
That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. And it's a great story. And he's a wonderful father and he's doing his best, I think that's That's how it feels to me.
Well, I'm going to say I don't believe that, but I like your take on it.
Yeah. It's that's very dark, you know. That is shitty bang bang.
It's very, I was gonna say it's very dystopian.
I don't think so.
No, I mean it's realistic, you know. Yeah.
It's
Hey,
much more grounded in reality.
It's Herzog's bang bang.
Yeah. I do want to say though that like this made me remember Jeff and I, our grandpa had acres of land, and there was like old junk on his land, and there was like, you know, the body of an old car, and we had turned that into like a time machine and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, I think everybody ought to have a burned out old hulk of a car for their kids to play in.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say, you know.
Yeah.
It's childhood
My
magic.
dad,
Do you have a burned out hulk of a car for your kids to play in?
Not anymore.
But did you?
No, I didn't.
Aw.
But did you? My dad hung out in the junkyards. I'm pretty sure he hung out in old, burned out cars and he, you know, fixed up old cars and drove them around the junkyard and stuff like that in San Antonio.
Benny,
Do we get to talk about the child catcher now?
Ooh. Go, Laura.
He looks kind of like Michael Jackson.
Look, I have
I don't know what.
Look at
that is creepy.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson said, "Ooh, I want to look like the child catcher."
Yeah.
Nobody will catch on.
What about
That is specifically a very suggestive image. I mean,
Yeah.
Benny Hill's eyes were like rolling backwards and like, oh.
Look how young Benny Hill is. He's so young.
Yeah.
They made him look old, but he's really young-faced in this picture.
So when he came on the screen, did anybody else hear yakety sax in their head?
Oh, of course, absolutely. That's the first thing I heard that went through my brain.
I couldn't get over how wholesome he was the entire time.
Yeah. That's the
himself, yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought surely he's gonna like at least crack a fart or something at some point, or look up a girl's dress, you know, something.
wink at
you
the
know?
camera, something.
Yeah. I honestly,
it would have been out of place in Bulgaria because shit got weird there.
yes,
Oh,
They-
yeah.
Totally.
strange things happened in Bulgaria. You know, stranger than this guy.
Yeah.
Do you have one of his creepy hands, his lollipop hand?
Oh no, I don't. Oh, I don't have a
Oh.
lot. Oh man, see, you gotta help me. Well, we were talking about like drawing pictures of our favorite parts too, but yeah, no, these are
This shit.
My favorite scene in the whole movie.
What is happening?
It's a whole
This is pretty funny. Yeah.
Yes,
What the fuck?
yes.
Are
When
you
They're all
kidding?
basically talking to each other, and he's trying to kill her. Like, Baroness, you can find another rich guy who does not want you dead. Like, you don't have to settle for this man.
You don't have to settle
Yeah.
for Auric Goldfinger.
And she is so horny for him.
I know. But she also does seem scared.
You know, this scene reminds me that we should never feel bad about our digressions on this show, because this movie breaks
This
the
movie digresses.
I digress. Like,
Yeah, like
several
what?
times.
Like like why is Dick Van Dyke's character telling this part of the story to his kids? You know, you see, she was dancing around in her underwear with her pigtails, and he was trying to choke her.
He
Bizarre.
grabbed your pigtails.
He grabbed them. Yeah,
He grabs them and he wraps them around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
It's kinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Hey,
is my
Adam.
Halloween costume. I love her outfit so
Yeah,
much.
it's pretty great.
She
Yeah.
was awesome.
Everything about that outfit is fucking fire.
She may have actually like been my favorite character. Like, you know,
For real.
she was
Yeah.
she was real
Baroness is
fun
pretty
to
cool.
watch. Yeah. And I like, who knew that, you know, Goldfinger had such range.
No, Baroness, I expect you to die.
Ah! Bravo. Yeah, I mean,
But
I
this,
don't know, man.
yeah, this just seems to come out of nowhere. And again, it's like, this movie is very entertaining. I'm not upset that this scene is in it. It really commanded my attention.
I can't believe Benny Hill didn't show up.
Yeah.
He's in the suit of armor in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's, you know, I do feel like you could really tell when it's dull and when it isn't. You know, obviously the child catcher is, you know,
very much so.
obviously other elements are. And that was a part of his falling out with, you know, Albert Broccoli, was that he hated the director, he hated the rewrites, and Albert Broccoli like totally stood up for the director and was like, no, we threw out Doll's script. We hated it. We didn't use a page of it. And then it's obvious they used a lot of it, you know.
Oh yeah.
This
has got Doll's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, if you go back to the book that it's based on, they fight gangsters. Like they don't go to Bulgaria. There is no child catcher.
Yeah.
You know, nothing like that. And also I thought this was interesting in the original books. He builds Chitty Chitty Bang Bang out of the charred remains, just like in the movie. But then Chitty Chitty Bang Bang reveals his special magical powers by telling, you know, the inventor to pull certain levers or push certain buttons.
Oh, I love that.
You know, yeah, it's like, hey, pull this lever and I'll become an airplane. Oh, okay.
like Kit from Knight Rider. Yeah. That would have been awesome.
In their first adventure together, as the family and the magical car blow up a cache of explosions that belong to gangsters. So it's a little bit different than the movie, and there's a lot of stuff that is clearly fabricated by Dahl. That it is kind of shitty of Broccoli, and the director of this movie, his name is escaping me. It was a Ken something, but anyway, I feel like they were total dicks in that regard. Yeah, Ken Hughes. Yeah, real shitty of them. It's also strange that Ken Hughes directed this, because he was really a crime noir and, you know, crime drama and drama guy. You know, like he wasn't really children's musical material.
How did Dahl get involved with adapting this book, creating this adapted screenplay?
Dahl was friends with Ian Fleming, you know, the guy who wrote the book it's based on. And Dahl had actually already written one of the James Bond films for Broccoli. Broccoli liked his screenplay for the James Bond film.
Which one?
Oh, good question. I knew someone's going to ask me. I was like, maybe Mick's looking it up right now.
Come on, tech wizard. Come on.
I was not, but I absolutely could.
Okay, it's, you know, and I believe it's like one of the. I mean, it is like a Sean Connery one, and
I bet it's Diamonds Are Forever.
You think it's Diamonds Are Forever?
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
It's not.
You only live twice.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I love that one too.
Yes.
That's a great James Bond movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, yeah, and yeah, that was a friendship, and this movie ended that friendship with Broccoli. No more Broccoli and Doll. It's now Broccoli and Hughes, best friends forever. Doll no longer best friend.
Somebody's got to give out back their half of EFF necklace.
I think Doll had a history of not
Gladly.
getting along with a lot of people, though. To be fair.
Yeah.
He seemed he got a bug up his ass about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. Seems like he was a real prickly pear. You know?
Yeah. Or a broccoli pear.
No. I did want to throw, I wanted to throw in some Dick Van Dyke love, and this outfit and this scene where he's dancing on a wire, like he's got an invisible wire that's picking his butt up for him off his heels, but still looks fantastic.
He also had the most fire fits too. Like he looks good in a suit because he's so tall and slender, but he had some really, really awesome outfits, and they were just tailored to him, and he just looked so cool in his outfits. I love his fashion.
Fantastic costuming in the entire film. Like, can't say enough good things about the costume, the set design, the choreography, a lot of the camera work, the blue screen rotoscoping. It's extremely well done. I like I don't like all of the musical numbers. There are several scenes that I think I hate to say it, should have hit the cutting room floor for me. But because I think the whole movie is just a bit much and it's a little overlong. It is great. I'm not saying it isn't, but it's a little flawed for me as well. But I mean, it's a spectacle. It's fantastically entertaining, and I didn't realize that doing wire work was so hard. But like I've had fall protection training and stuff. I've been on like harnesses and been on cables, and I've watched like interviews with stunt guys that talk about doing wire work, and I mean, and they're like always emphatic, like even with like our modern day like wire rigs and stuff like that, we usually have like two cables like holding you from the best spots it could hold you from to your anatomy. Like that shit hurts, and it is really hard to do. It's very demanding. I can only imagine what it was like for Dick Van Dyke getting pulled up basically by the small of his back. You know?
And dancing.
Yeah, and dancing, and the thing was probably hooked to a jock strap or something. Like seriously, like I'm sure that stuff was crude and very, very painful.
And yet the bamboo, and the bamboo rods, were actually tougher. Like the bamboo rod dance scene. His toughest dance scene of his life.
Dude, that was crazy. That was intense. And like those takes were an eternity.
Yeah.
Well,
the director did a lot of like really long takes. He did long takes with the car moving and passing people and like stuff going on and doing long takes with dancing. Really impressive stuff. He was clearly a very talented filmmaker. It's a shame he wasn't getting along with the writer of the movie, and whoops. Oh, okay. You didn't see that.
Whoopsies.
We don't keep that one. Yeah. We don't
he's
keep
looking
that
for a duck.
Yeah.
What the duck?
We don't keep that slide around. Okay. But it's pretty impressive. And I do get what you're saying about some of the music numbers being a little long, some of the scenes being a little long. It doesn't seem like they got the Sherman Brothers' best work. You know, like I know, like
there's a couple of bangers in there. Let's be fair, but there's a couple of.
No, even with the most stellar musicals, there's things that can be trimmed because sometimes it goes on just a frame or two longer than necessary. And yeah, I don't think that every song in this film is, you know, is the Broadway book number that you want to sing along to every single time. Yeah, I mean, there's the title song and there's the Truly Scrumptious song, but and the Choochie Woochie Oochie Coochie whatever face song, that's fun.
Posh.
Some of the other ones, like I do like. Okay, Posh was one of the parts that I totally forgot about, but that is a fun number to sing along to, and yet I completely forgot about it as ever being in the movie because I completely forgot about the grandpa part of the movie.
Yeah,
but the pushing from the ashes of failure comes the roses of success, or whatever the pushing up daisy song is.
Yeah,
forget it. That could have been cut.
My favorite.
I'm sorry. It's not mine. I think it could have been cut. Yeah.
But the old guys in the dungeon, that's the best
Oh my
part.
God,
That's the best
it.
musical number of the whole movie.
It could have been shortened by a lot. Yeah.
They could have just
Not my
taken out
favorite.
one of the lullabies and kept Roses of Success.
Yeah, we could have taken out one of the lullabies too. I agree.
Yeah, but the Sherman Brothers love those lullabies. You know?
The one that I definitely could have done without 100% is the solo she sings about falling in love with the guy in her gigantic Felicia.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
Lonely
is just
Man.
like
yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It is a terrible number. Yeah. I agree.
I could live without Lovely Lonely Man myself.
Worst part of the movie.
The guy who played the grandpa character is actually 6 months younger than Dick Van Dyke.
Of course he is.
I love that.
Of course he is.
You know, but he went bald at an early age, unlike Dick Van Dyke. So I guess he looked old enough to be his father. And I thought, you know, I spent a lot of that movie thinking that the grandpa just spent all his time in the outhouse. You know, I thought that was the joke. But no, that he just has that's his fantasy place. That's his chitty chitty bang bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
The shed.
I had actually been thinking about the grandfather, and I found a couple of lines from the actual Ian Fleming book about him that kind of, I guess, confirmed my personal theory about him. But he was known in the neighborhood as Commander Crackpot. You may think that's rude, and it is, but Commander Pot was a humorous man, and he knew his own shortcomings very well. So when he heard that was his nickname in the neighborhood, he was not cross. He roared with laughter and said, "I'll show him." So yeah, he was leaning into his eccentricity. You think I'm crazy? Watch me.
Yeah. I mean,
hold my beer. I like it. Yeah.
I could see that, you know, like if I start to lose it upstairs as I get older, I might have some fun with it, you know. That seems like it might be characteristic for me.
And it certainly seems to run in the family.
Yeah. That's
Why
actually,
did he name his kid Caractacus?
I was just gonna say, well, he named his kid.
Yeah.
Caractacus. What a name.
Caractacus. I loved his you know, obviously Tim Burton saw this movie before he made Pee-wee's Big Adventure. and all the instruments, or all the inventions in his lab, like, and in his kitchen,
Oh yeah. All
Yeah.
the Rube Goldberg machines, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, I realized that I had seen this movie before at some point, and it definitely makes sense, because I bet my dad would have really liked this movie. Like, he likes cars a lot. He likes crazy cars. He likes fun steam engines and stuff like that. As a social movement, I'm not real into steampunk, but as an aesthetic, I usually find it, pretty fun, pretty fascinating. So this had kind of a steampunk thing going on, and all those things were invented by the same guy. They hired an inventor. Cool. Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
yeah. I love the way, like, the wings and the props come out of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang at the end and stuff. Like, it's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I liked all of the James Bond cameos. Like,
yes.
Q was the scrap dealer, or the junkyard guy kid.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was Q.
And then, of course, Goldfinger.
Mm-hmm.
I just, well, you figure, Ian Fleming and Cubby Broccoli, and there you go. Mm-hmm. But it was, you don't recognize it when you're watching it as a kid, but I definitely noticed it as an adult watching it again.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, like, if there's one thing that's really well trafficked that is actually in my blind spot, it is quite a bit of James Bond. So I know I have to educate myself at some point. So I did kind of miss out on some of that, but it was I definitely did not recognize Goldfinger, and when I found out that's who it was, I was like, that wild singing dancing man.
Yeah,
it was Auric Goldfinger.
That's Goldfinger. And like, I also can't get over how messed up it is that when Goldfinger decides he's going to kill James Bond, he wants to char his genitals first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's a
dark,
pretty,
man.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. I mean, not only is that going to happen, like, his lower organs, those can also get charred, and he's still very much alive. Like, he's probably still got a minute by the time it hits his heart. He's still going to be.
It all stems from James Bond, nailing the girl that he was wanting to bang, from the beginning of the movie, because she's the one who ends up painted gold.
Yeah, Pussy Galore.
No, I don't. She had a different name. I don't remember what it was. But
it was the different one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But because at some point in my life, when I was probably like a teenager, I read every single Ian Fleming James Bond book, and I've seen almost every single Bond movie too. So I had a thing for a while.
Yeah,
I've read all the books and seen all the movies up till Pierce Brosnan, and then I kind of gave up.
I stuck through the Pierce Brosnan. I kind of trailed off with the very end of the Daniel Craig ones. So, but I mean, I sat through Timothy Dalton. So there you go.
Well, I'll definitely get caught up with those at some point. I've seen a few of them. Seen Octopussy. Saw View to a Kill, and I love the music video.
On
my favorite are the Sean Connery years.
Yeah,
I cannot lie.
Sean Connery's are fantastic. Yeah.
Roger Moore is a close second. It's a little silly for me for some reason.
Yeah, it is real silly. That's why Diamonds Are Forever was like Connery's last straw. He hated how silly the trend was getting by the time they made Diamonds Are Forever. And that movie is I like it. It's fun, but it is hokey and silly compared to like From Russia with Love or
it's
Dr.
one of the
No for sure.
I don't know. To me, it's one of the weaker ones. I guess it's not that great. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like Jill St. John. I don't know.
Yeah, I hadn't realized, just the connection of Truly Scrumptious and Ian Fleming, that he liked to give female characters ridiculous names,
Yeah.
Truly Scrumptious is a truly, truly ridiculous name, That's no one names
it is ridiculous as Pussy Galore.
Yeah.
I hope that there is a whole generation of kids who saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang first and thought James Bond was like ripping that off before they realized. I really.
As a kid who saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang before ever seeing a James Bond, I think the answer is no.
Oh, well. Bummer.
But hey, that's just me. You never,
No, I'm in the same boat as you, and I did not. I wouldn't have known they were the same.
No.
Source until much later in life.
Yeah. And I imagine the books, are probably pretty different as well.
Yes.
It is kind of
the further you get, especially.
Yeah.
Like Dr. No's not too far off.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dr. No.
No, but as far as the book and the movie, lining up, they're closer than say Moonraker, which has the same name.
Yeah,
that's
nothing
it.
else.
That's it.
Nothing
Yeah,
else. It is a completely different story.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, like you definitely get the impression like Connery wouldn't have had anything to do with Moonraker the way that movie, coalesced. He would have been like, this is stupid.
Octopussy. James Bond is not in Octopussy, the book, and the story's about a guy and a poisonous octopus, and a lionfish.
Wow.
Nothing that's in the movie is in that story.
So, much like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Broccoli just bought that book and did with it what he wanted to.
Of course.
Yeah. He was like, I want my own Mary Poppins, and we already bought every single book Ian Fleming ever wrote, so we'll take this one and we'll turn it into Mary Poppins. We'll hire the Sherman Brothers.
It'll be great. Let's make this picture.
Who did Winnie the Pooh? Like, that was the one thing that really stood out to me. Like, that is a very, very catchy song, the Winnie the Pooh song,
The Deep in the 100-Acre Woods one?
Or you mean chubby little cubby all stuffed with fluff?
Is that the one you're talking about?
Or just the Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Yeah.
Chubby little cubby all stuffed with fluff. He's Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was that one, or if you were talking about the Deep in the 100-Acre Woods. You guys remember that one?
Oh yeah, that's also very memorable. Yeah.
Take one of Empress's gummy worms.
Yeah.
Gummy worms. But I just have weed and beer.
Oh.
I actually have some gummies too, but I start eating gummies, I'm gonna be like, blah, 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 you know. So, yeah.
Oh, I
Are
just
we
watched
ready?
my cat fall off of the shelf. Sorry.
Yeah. To answer your question, Jeremy, yes, I think we are ready to go around and talk about
Watch out for
whether or
snakes.
not we would recommend this movie to someone who loved it as a kid. And man, my recollection of this was so vague. I didn't even realize I had seen it before. But I could definitely see how if you saw this movie as a kid, you might have some very, very beloved memories, and it would be awful to tarnish those. So I think last time we started with Sandra, who picked the movie, I think. So maybe we'll just keep that trend up anyway. You're right next to me. So, Mr. Wizard.
What did I think?
Yeah, like what would
I
you say?
think I don't care if you love this movie as a kid, if you've never seen this movie, uh, you should watch this movie. I think it holds up. I think it surpasses its reputation. Does it have problems? Yeah, but it's a rollicking good time. Uh, it 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 had that old movie feel that I just love. When the intermission came up, I needed the intermission, but also it's different and it's fun, and more movies should do it. Uh, Now, if you've grown up and you hate musicals, you probably don't want to go back. But other than that, no, I'm a huge thumbs up. Absolutely, everyone should see this movie.
Outstanding. We'll just keep going in the same direction then. Or is that it, or you have anything else you want
I'm
to add?
done.
Or
I am
okay,
done.
cool. All right, we're gonna move on to Empress Buttercup. Oh, you're muted.
You're muted.
No.
Thank you. I didn't want anybody to hear me chewing gummy worms.
Oh.
Thank you, Jeff Robot. I agree with Nick that I thought it was a super fun movie. I like musicals, so I thought the musical parts were pretty fun. Although I thought there were too many. Like I agree with there were just far too many. You didn't need that many.
Mm-hmm.
But the magic of the movie was cool. The storytelling I thought was super cool. If you followed it, I didn't follow it as a kid and whatever. But I think as an adult, it's fun. And so I liked the musical songs and performances and the set of all of that. I really loved the fashion. I loved a couple of the lady characters. So I think it holds up. I think it's a super cool movie still. And I thought it was a barrel of monkeys. So that's fine.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna mute myself so I can eat gummy worms.
That makes it. Jeremy, you're next. Ungravy.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think this movie is a classic. It really is, and I think if you saw it when you were a kid and you really liked it, and you haven't seen it for decades, you'd watch it and be delighted. I think it would bring back memories and it'd be all good. Yeah, you'd probably notice some things about the movie, that you'd be like, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. I mean,
yeah,
as basically like a fresh viewer going into it, like there are things
I don't really remember these two. Yeah.
Right. It's not a perfect film.
Yeah.
But it is. It's a classic, and it's really got some serious magic going on with it. I mean, there's several scenes I don't care for too much. And I think, it's really weird at times, and I think like the whole digression into Bulgaria and all this stuff, and it's just like, what the hell's going on here? I remember like distinctly thinking like I'm confused, but like then it lends itself to these different interpretations, like maybe they're just sitting in a junked old car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And daydreaming all this stuff, and if that turned out to be the case, I think I would have loved it actually if the movie had like actually done that, like how like like this would have like settled down, and then next thing you know, it was just them kind of like fooling around in a junked old heap or something. But
when it takes off at the end, like as an adult, I look at that's Inception.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because
I think that
that
is what
I think of it as Grease.
That's the story. That's really what happened. They really went to Bulgaria.
For sure.
They really went to Bulgaria. The car really does these magical things, and I think that's great.
Or none of it happened, and it's still the two kids in the car at the junkyard.
Either reality,
Yeah.
right? Either conclusion is equally good.
And
like
equally fun.
And equally fun. I will say, am I the only parent in the group?
No.
Okay. I'll be curious to see what you think about this, because I was talking about it with my boys who are all teenagers, and I think like, and actually Eli said that Nikki had him watch this movie when he was like really little and he liked it. But I will say that like really little kids would really enjoy watching this movie. I'm not sure if they'd still enough like for 2.5 hours, but like they might run around, come back, watch it, run around, come back, watch it, and they get a big kick out of it. But and I definitely give it the thumbs up officially. Salvage title, rewatch it, you'll love it. But if you have like middle schoolers or a freshman in high school and you have them watch it, don't blame me if you look over and they're looking at their phone, yawning or just rolling their eyes. Because
oh yeah,
I would say that would be the reaction you'd get from that age group for sure.
It's so long. Gosh.
It's too long. That's the only criticism I have about the movie really is that there's a few too many songs. Couple song pieces don't need to be in there at all, and it's just a bit much. It's a little overlong. It's a little much.
Cool. All right. Well, thumbs up, and unless you're a teenager.
Yeah, they'll hate this movie.
Some teenagers, I'm sure, would love this movie.
Some would, absolutely.
Not your teenager.
My teenagers would like this movie. Yeah. Laszlo said it looked cool. When I was watching the rest of it, like I had several like pop-ins, like, whoa, that looks crazy. Like kind
of. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like we talked about, it's got great inventions in it. Great set design.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the Bride of Pumpkinhead and find out what we got there. Look, he pointed right. Good job, Jeremy. Getting used to this.
I am with the group on this one. Great spectacle. I think if I don't even think you have to revisit it. I think if you just see it for the first time as an adult, that is also fine. That might even be better because now you are in a headspace, hopefully more likely to be in a headspace where you can recognize that none of the adult relationships in this movie are good. Even like even Dick Van Dyke and understudy Julie Andrews, like not good.
It's a no
not
for
good.
me, dog. It's a no for me, for real. I didn't.
Yeah.
I kind of like you. Let's get married.
I mean, this whole,
we kissed. Now we have to get married.
We must get married.
It was a different time.
It was, yeah.
Even in 19. I'm sorry.
Which is why, once you pass a certain age, like you can recognize, like insulting someone. Maybe that's not always flirting. Like that's not a good model to learn how to interact with people you're interested in on.
Yeah.
And also not like trying to murder somebody for any reason, but especially one that you're like with. So yeah, I say don't watch it if you're young. 18 and up. It's the NC-17 rating for me.
NC-17.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I was actually I mentioned I was intimidated by the runtime, and it was long, but I've seen shorter movies that felt longer. So,
oh yes,
well done, well done, Broccoli and crew.
Well said.
All right.
Sweet. Well, we're going to move on then to Barbara.
Hey.
Jimmy.
Son of a
so close.
Nice try.
Yeah, it was really fun to go back and rewatch this. It like I said, there were huge gaps that I just didn't remember at all. Overall, I think it's a wonderful little musical. It's certainly not my favorite by a long stretch. And yeah, there's some scenes that could have been trimmed, or numbers that could have been limited altogether. But who doesn't love Dick Van Dyke? I'm sorry. Yeah. He's just absolutely charming. And the set design was fantastic. The costumes were great. God, I want one of her hats so bad. And I just, overall, it's a charming little movie. And I do say little movie, even though it's on such a grand scale of things. It kind of flies under the radar for a lot of people. So I would recommend this movie, especially if you like musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I feel the same way. I really enjoyed the movie. I didn't feel like it was too long. I did think that, some of the scenes were a little long in the tooth. And I'll also say that, there really wasn't that much tune stuck in my head. No. I was actually struggling to remember how Toot Sweet goes. I was like, all I could remember was Toot Sweet. It's this huge number where they go all throughout the chocolate factory, dancing up and down stairs and stuff. And all I can remember is Toot Sweet.
Well, I think that says a lot.
Yeah. And Dick Van Dyke's incredible,
Yeah.
It's if for any other reason, be a Dick Van Dyke completist, see this movie because he's just for him, or see it for awesome working sets and props,
Yeah.
Yeah.
See it for the child catcher. I don't feel like we talked about the child catcher enough.
The child catcher was really something else. And he also to think that this is an invention off the top of his head, he's making up this story on the beach, and then, there's no kids in Bulgaria. And the reason is because there's this really weird looking dude.
And he really hates kids.
He really hates kids. Yeah. I read that guy was a ballet dancer. That was his primary claim to fame.
He does have a very slim build. It's very slight.
Yes. Yes, he's pretty nimble. He does some dancing and tumbling and stuff.
He was incredibly creepy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he what did he eat? Did he eat something weird, or what did he do that was just so
We all know Adam hates kids.
Oh.
He hates these kids.
Well, can relate. I like a nice child-free lawn myself, you know. I wasn't rooting for those kids. Those kids were filthy, you know. At the end when all the kids get out and they just make a huge ugly mess of everything, you know, like it makes the people of Bulgaria a lot more sense, you know, like it makes you know, I understand where they're coming from. Like, yeah, I kind of want those kids right back in their cages, you know. And
I wish that's where I'd left mine.
Yeah, and once you get them in there, maybe put the hose on them or something for a little while because they're filthy. You're gonna get
his kids were constantly dirty, and
Yeah.
she never once wipes their cheeks. It's like, come on, man.
She didn't want to touch them.
No,
Would you?
She's not their mom. She's just this chick.
That's right.
Out.
Yeah.
She shows up as a Karen, though. She's like, what are those kids just doing running around, not in school? Well, I'm going to go lecture their dad. And
I mean, valid question.
Yeah.
Which
she's just moonlighting with the little
bottom
people,
of.
you know?
Yeah.
Why aren't they in school?
A couple days later, she is completely on board.
Yeah, he doesn't care. That's why. Their dad doesn't care about school, you know? Clearly, he thinks that they're going to be profitable. We should certainly celebrate with the banner that it's a yes.
Yay.
Take the ride. That's what Jake says.
Oh, Jakey.
Jake says, take the ride. You're right, Jake. You're right. We're going to do that. So.
I wish Jake was in this movie.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Jake was in every movie.
Every movie.
Every movie but the cat from outer space.
It could be like that new Nick Cage movie, Dream Scenario, where he walks through people's dreams. It could be the same thing, but just with Jake in movies, you know?
Oh,
he just walks through like, hey, what's up? That looks like an interesting movie. I'm out, you know?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Who gets to pick the next movie?
That's a very good question. I feel like Bride of Pumpkinhead hasn't picked one. You're with us last week, and Jeremy's picked one. This was Mick's pick. Buttercup had Cat. So yeah. Do you have anything in mind?
I mean, watching The Cat from Outer Space did make me think of another beloved cat movie, I guess, from the same sort of bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That darn cat. I had I taped it off the TV and just watched it over and over again. Another instance where one member of the family has an accent that no one else has, and it's just like fine. Like Haley Mills is British, but her sister is not. But like no one cares. It's fine.
That darn cat.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that movie existed. As soon as you said it, like all these memories come back.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a catathon.
Yeah.
Well, it's another cat movie. There's a great cat. Lots of great cat moments.
Is it a Disney movie too, or?
I think it is Disney.
Yeah.
Because they remade it with Christina Ricci, right?
I remember this just a little bit of the song.
Which one are we?
It had Dean Jones in it, right? So it's probably Disney.
Mm-hmm.
The song kind of swung.
Yeah.
What year was it made?
Let's see.
1965.
Yeah.
Oh, going way back.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Are we seeing Christina Ricci with Doug E. Doug?
No.
I barely remember that. I don't know why.
Oh my God, it's got Roddy McDowell in it again.
What?
The cat movie with Roddy
Where
McDowell.
there's a cat.
Wow.
Roddy McDowell's not fireman.
We
It's
get to
just-
see Frank Gorshin.
Wow. He's
Yeah.
I
just
want to
Yeah.
see the Christina Ricci version. Honestly, seriously, it looks.
But that's not what this show is about.
yeah. You want to do a double feature?
Look at it though. Look at it.
Oh no! Oh no! Ay.
We ought to do a
Hey.
double feature. I think it warrants it. We need to know which version is better.
I'm not
I'll do
opposed.
my own. Maybe I'll do my own side quest.
So yes, it is a Walt Disney movie.
Mhm.
It's not
It's
2.5 hours long, is it?
First Dean Jones appearance
Dean Jones.
in a Walt Disney movie.
Interesting.
He was all over Disney in the late
Oh,
60s,
yeah.
early 70s.
Yeah.
All of Herbie the Love Bug movies.
Yes.
And, yeah.
He was in the Love
Oh,
Bug.
is it a Siamese cat?
There.
Oh,
Yes.
it's a
Already
Siamese
like-
cat?
Oh, it's a Siamese
Yeah.
cat.
Okay.
Cool.
That darn cat.
Yes,
Sung by
Catherine.
Bobby Darin. Theme song by Bobby Darin.
Bobby Darin.
Oh,
Written by Richard Sherman and Robert Sherman.
oh, we got the Sherman brothers again.
Oh,
All right.
Oh.
It's not a musical.
Haley Mills too. I love Haley Mills.
Yeah.
I think this is
Yeah.
a great idea, but I think
Yeah.
maybe after this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a side quest
He's always picking through the trash.
because I also love Christina Ricci. Come on, you
Yeah.
guys.
I got no problem with Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as
Well.
she uses the box, I'm fine with her.
Well, yeah, that was a great discussion about it.
Someone
Oh.
behind you.
Oh, Jeremy, there's children in the room.
Go, child.
That darn child.
That darn,
What do I do?
that darn teenager.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeremy, where's your child catcher?
Yeah.
Slack it off.
I'll get
Yeah.
her out.
I think all of my kids are bigger than the child catcher. Tutu. Tutu. What are you doing, Tutu? Here.
Well,
Tutu lost
Did you
all of
say
her hair.
Choo Choo or Choo Choo Woochie?
Tutu lost all of her hair.
oh, look! But it's
She
the
had-
winter time. Why did you shave her at the winter time?
She had
She's
some
supposed
mats.
to-
Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
dang double coat. Her hair was so long
Uh-huh.
that we were brushing her hair, but we couldn't even get the brush down to the lower coat. And the
Yeah.
groomer said that her bottom coat was all matted up, and
Yeah.
it's like, it's not, shave it.
Mm.
Oh dear.
She's been cold. Like, she got shaved, and then we had that Arctic vortex,
Yeah.
so we've had
Aw,
to
poor
put
puppy.
sweaters on her and wrap her in blankets.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Well, now she's probably upset we picked that darn cat and not the shaggy dog.
Oh, we should watch a shaggy dog. Yeah.
Add it to the
Let-
queue.
Let her down.
Ah,
So, does anyone have any memories specifically of this movie that you can? I mean, I know that Mick remembered the swing song.
But not much else.
Not much else.
I mean, there are just all kinds of good-natured hijinks. There are some crooks who kidnap a woman, and they're just everything is so wholesome.
Mhm.
There's an FBI agent that gets involved. There's a surfer boyfriend.
Jake approves. Jake approves of hijinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, total hijinks. Oh,
That's
there's
good.
like a kind of a namby-pamby boyfriend. Yeah, I have all the memories.
All right.
Sweet.
But yeah, I think it'll be good.
Okay.
It'll be good.
I remember really liking it. I remember the song, nothing else. So I'm really excited to see it again.
Cool.
Ah,
Well,
there's a bulldog.
there's a bulldog.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, the trailer is on right now.
Oh, you're watching the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer is on right now.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I am very, very excited now to check out this movie and discuss it in a couple weeks. And,
Me too.
I really enjoyed talking about Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And I really enjoyed having you on the show, Barbara.
Oh, it was fun to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, and you're always welcome. You know, if you want to check out that darn cat with us, like yeah, no problem, no
All right.
problem. 'Cause
See what I
we're
can do.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing it. So, but either way, it was so great to have you here with us, and I'm glad that if somebody out there is like, oh, I just don't know if Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is going to be at all worthwhile, you know,
I will
could tell
sell
them.
them on it.
Yes, we can tell them, oh, let me give you some information, my friend. Don't doubt it. Take the ride. Do it. All right.
Absolutely. Hop in that flying, floating, whatever.
Yeah.
Do it.
So yeah, I guess that's it. So good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and anyone who's watching this after the live stream, thank you for checking it out. Hope we see you again. And I don't have a snappy catchphrase to close the show out, so that's it.
Peace out, homies.
The catchphrase is there is no catchphrase.
There is no catchphrase. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.